to listen about some Airbnb hacks. Let me see your hands. Who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready? Awesome. Okay, guys. So, first of all, my name is Kelly Gomez. I am originally from, guess from where? Medellin, Colombia. The city of the endless spring. Come from very humble beginnings. I was born in 1997, and I have something to show you that I think this is the very first time that I'm actually sharing this, and is this. This is actually the house where my parents, I have my dad right here. Shout out to my dad, give it a hand to my dad, come on. So this is the house where my parents and I live, where I was born. And I wanted to show you guys this to remind myself and remind all of you guys that it doesn't matter where you come from, it matters how big you can dream. And the purpose that you put and the action into every single day. And first of all, the belief. Every big idea starts with a belief. Then you take action into it, and then you can achieve. Any dream is possible, and I truly believe that. The American dream is possible. Then this is little Kelly at 4 years old in 2001. This was my very first time on a stage. I was modeling this clothing brand named Polito, and something very funny about this specific circumstance was I was actually attending a party where my dad used to work at a company, Orbitel, and it was like a client appreciation for all of the todas las personas que participaban, todos los trabajadores, all the employees. They were doing an employee appreciation party, and they were having a runway and a party, and it was amazing. And then some of the people in the staff asked, we need more models, who wants to participate? And I raised my hand. I didn't know what I was getting into, and I was 4 years old, but I saw an opportunity and I just raised my hand and I jumped into it. Once they got me backstage, guess what? I was very nervous. I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. It was the unknown. But the reason why I tell you this story is because just like this opportunity, a lot of the best opportunities in your lives comes from taking the risk. High risk, high reward, right? So moving forward, I didn't know what I was getting into, but here I am. Then moving forward in 2013, I got into the modeling industry with Impacto Models. Also taught me a lot about discipline, about communication. And after I graduated from high school in 2014 and 15, at my first semester of university, I got with my best friend, her name is Valeria Alvarez, and we created this TV show called Art 21 TV. We used to interview artists, models, dancers, painters, anybody that wanted to showcase their purpose behind what they did. Because remember, it's not about what you do, it's about how you do it. Welcome, Whitney. Welcome to the room. Everybody give a hand. Oh. You are at the right place at the right time. So guys, R21 TV was very influential in my life because it taught me the value of connections and collaborations. We used to bring artists from different type of industries, bring them to our channel, promote them on TV. We were live every Friday at 5 p.m. And so we will help them basically create the connections for them to grow their business, either getting a promotion, getting a manager, getting a connection with other artists. And that's basically part of what we're doing right here. We're getting a room of professional entrepreneurs together because from this incubation process, amazing things can happen. But guess what? It's not up to me. It's up to you. It's up to you to take the decision and to take action. In 2016, one of the biggest decisions of my life, my parents and myself decided to come to the US. 9 years ago, I arrived to Orlando with nothing, literally nothing, but big dreams and hungry for success, hungry for achieving my goals, hungry to learn with no English, but with a determination of wanting to make a change, not only for my life, but for my family's life and for the next generations. Y para toda nuestra gente latina, para demostrarle que sí se puede cumplir el sueño americano, que sí es posible cumplir los sueños que uno se plantea y que si uno tiene la mentalidad correcta, if you have the right mentality, if you are open, if you open up your mind to let the right information come to you, not everything, but the right information that aligns with what you are trying to do, you can achieve those goals. So later that year in 2016, I met my business partner. He's sitting right there, Andres Ospina. Give it a hand for Andres. And Andres and I started working together. I was the photographer, the marketing director, the everything right hand, and as I was learning English, I was also learning real estate. And guess what? That's how we actually got into Airbnb. And that's one of the main reasons why we are here, guys. Airbnb literalmente me cambió la vida, literally changed my life. Not only my life, but Andres' life, our family's life, everybody's lives around us. Why? Because we saw an opportunity. We saw that the house where we were living at, which is this one right here, right? It had 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And a small 1-car garage. That house in 2016 was costing us about $1,200 a month. The mortgage was about $1,200 a month. After we converted that garage and we turned it into a studio, like a mother-in-law suite, we were generating about $2,000 a month gross just from the garage. The mortgage was $1,200. We were generating $2,000 from the garage. Guess what? We were living in the master and we still had 2 other bedrooms. So we rented out those 2 other bedrooms as well, about $1,000 each. So we were generating about $4,000 gross. We were only paying $1,200. We saw that this was something that could be duplicatable. We continue working, and very, very important, living below our means. That was the key. All the commissions from the sales we were making, because we were representing buyers and sellers, helping them, investors as well, we were helping them through the process of purchasing and selling their houses. We were saving as much money as we can, and we were reinvesting that into our business and saving for the next house. This is the rest of the house, so you already saw the garage that was converted. This is the other 2 bedrooms that we rented out as well. So basically, from one house, we have 3 different rental income. This is the master bedroom, and think about this. Like when we talk about Airbnb and house hacking, think about maximizing space utilization, right? So as many bedrooms that you have in a house, look at the bedroom as another unit. So basically what we do is we buy single family houses, right? And then we divide them into a couple units and we turn them into multifamily without having to pay the price for multifamily, because we all know when we get to commercial, it's a little more prices, a little bit more difficult at the beginning. So we're basically getting really good deals from single family houses, buying it as primary residence, living in them for 1 year. You legally have to buy in the house for 1 year and then you can buy another one. Later down, a couple more years later, we added an RV in the backyard. So now we have 4 generational income, 4 streams of income under one roof. And that's when we saw we had to do this again, right? So something is a little weird here with the, it doesn't matter, I can just explain it to you. So I'm talking to you guys about Airbnb, right? Airbnb, look at it as a vehicle. Don't think about it just as a way to rent your vacation home. No, it's a vehicle through the one who you can find your clients, either for short-term rental, mid-term rental, or long-term rental as well. It's just another opportunity, another place where you can fish and get your clients. When you mix Airbnb with the BRRRR strategy, that's where the magic happens. What is BRRRR? Let me raise your hand. Anybody that knows what is BRRRR strategy, knows what I'm talking about? Awesome. I see a couple hands. Awesome. So for those of you guys that don't know what the BRRRR strategy is, I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes.
Awesome. So guys, the BRRRR strategy it stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. What does that even mean? So you find a house where you buy the property. Ideally, if you're just starting, you can buy this property as your primary residence so you can put as low down payment as possible, have really good interest rates. You buy this house, you fix it up, make sure that it's a house that needs some love, let's call it, right? The uglier the house, the better it is. Because you can turn it into something pretty like Whitney Dunn, she knows what I'm talking about. You can turn it into something really pretty and then you can rent it out. When you rent it out, don't look at it just as one stream of income. Look at the master bedroom as another opportunity. Look at the garage as another opportunity. If you have a shed in the back, you can turn it into a tiny house. Whatever you have, as many doors as you can create to this one property can be different streams of income. And that way, that's what's going to help you either pay the 100% of your mortgage, your debt, and possibly even have additional profits. So, you buy the house, you rehab it, you rent it out, and after you rent it out, you repeat the same, you refinance it, and then you repeat the same strategy. Why do you want to do that? For example, if you're buying a property not for a primary residence, you're buying this for a flip, a straight flip, at the beginning you may need to get into something that's called Harmony Lender, for example. How many here know what Harmony loans are? Awesome. So for those that don't know what Harmony loans are basically loans specifically designed for investors. You're going to have a little bit of a high interest rate, maybe 10 to 14% a year. So what matters is you buy this property with the end goal of wanting to fix it up and refinance it. When you refinance it, you can do something like a DSCR loan. What is this loan? It's a long-term loan that allows you to keep the house, rent it out, but change to have a better interest rate. So you change from the 10 or 14% interest rate that you originally acquired to, let's say, anywhere from like 8 or 10% interest rate. You keep this house, you rent it out, and then when you refinance it, guess what? Since you already have upgraded the house, the value of the house has increased, right? So since the value of the house has increased, you have something that's called equity. The equity is the difference in between how much you own, the original debt, compared to the current price because it has risen. So that equity is basically like your bank. When you refinance the property, you get that equity literally in your pocket. The bank will send you the amount to your bank account, and with that amount, guess what you do? You buy the next property. So if you originally, let's say, invested, let's put a number, just as an example, it can be lower or higher. Let's put $30,000. You put $30K into it, you get a loan where they actually give you the money also to fix the house, because you can get one of those loans. You fix it up, you refinance it, you get your $30K back into your pocket, then you buy the second house. Technically, you are recycling the original investment, and that's allowing you to get into a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, and the sky is the limit. So house hacking, I already showed you guys, basically it's a strategy to help offset the living cost or make a profit by turning one part of your house as a rental or the entire property. Ideally, the way that we've been able to scale is just dividing it as much as we can. We even use like the living rooms as sleeping areas, and that's what helps for people to basically rent out the properties for a higher value. Here is one of our very first closings. Javier Perez also, which many of you guys know here. We used to work together in the same brokerage, and we used to actually have a brokerage called Ecologic Realty Group. We continue doing this same strategy of buying another property, fixing it up. We actually moved to that second property because one of the first strategies was buying these properties as primary residence. Why? Because you have really low down payment, you have really good interest at the beginning, and that allows you to basically get into, let's say, an investment home, buying it as a single family house. But be careful, you do have to live in the house for 1 year. Some of the loan officers can confirm, right? You have to live in it for 1 year legally, but then you can just move into the next one. The next year you move into the next one, the next year you move into the next one. And then you just continue doing that, and I'm showing just some photos so that you can see an example of the reality. I'm just not talking fluff, like this is actual real properties that I own that I have transformed. And here is one of the biggest projects actually we did. This property is located in the 32806 zip code market. And here in Florida, we have pretty interesting situations. We have hurricanes, we have tornadoes. In this house, there used to be a huge tree here in the front. A tornado had passed through, the tree fell on top of the house, and it completely destroyed the property. Somebody will look at this and will say, that is a lot of work. Well, I look at it and I say, that's amazing, that's a lot of opportunity. So, make sure that you find the right team. That's something also very important, because your team can either make you or destroy you. And when I talk about your team, I'm talking about a roofer, an electrician, a plumber, a lawn care, a drywaller. You need around 15 to 20 people in order to actually do one house. And now let's talk about bulk numbers. You can do multiple houses at a time, like Anderson is going to share in a little later too, how he's been able to scale and how he's been able to do multiple houses at the same time, which in fact I actually recommend this if you have the opportunity, because it's the same process to do one than to do 3, 5, or 10. And if you have your team already, you might as well just keep your team busy so they can keep working with you. This is the process of that one house, and this is the end goal. Give it a hand for this house, which actually was one of the ones that took us the longest, about 1 year to rehab it, but it turned out to be amazing. Here are a couple more options as well, so you guys can see. I'm going to talk about this one. This is a really good opportunity. This is actually a duplex. So, if I was to start all over again from the beginning, from some of you guys that are starting, maybe you have your first, your second, your third house, you want to go bigger, I will start with a duplex or a triplex or even a fourplex. Why? Because the mortgage, the loan that you're going to need for your one single family house is pretty much almost the same one that you're going to use for a fourplex. And guess what? When you get into a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, you can use the income that you're going to generate from those additional units in order to help you qualify for the property. So when you think about it, it actually becomes easier to qualify for a property that has more than one unit under it. And guess what? If you have a duplex but you have a carport in front, you can turn it into a triplex or a fourplex. So I highly suggest you guys look at multifamily, and when I'm looking at multifamily, I'm looking at up to 4 units, because when you go above 4 units, then you're talking about commercial, and then in commercial you have different type of loans. So for you that are looking to start, look for a duplex, triplex, or quadplex to start with. Here are a couple more options. You guys can see this one is also a very unique one. It had, here on the photo we cannot see the other one, but it had another garage here. So the house had originally 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 3 car garages. We turned the 3 car garages, 2 of the garages, we turned them into additional bedrooms, and the 3rd garage, we turned it into a game room. So that allowed us to basically fit, instead of 3 bedrooms now, we turned into 5 bedrooms, and adding multiple beds. That house specifically fits about 14 people. It has a pool, it's really close to the beach, 5 minutes from the beach in Melbourne, Florida. One cool thing about Melbourne is that they do allow short-term rentals, city of Melbourne. This is something that you guys should take note of. Before you at an Airbnb, you gotta make sure you check the municipality. What are the rules and regulations for short-term rental? For example, in City of Orlando, you are allowed to do short-term rental STR for 50% of the house. The other 50% of the house has to be long-term. But what is long-term for City of Orlando is 30 days minimum. So if you have a house, if you have a duplex, for example, 4 bedrooms total, 2 bedrooms each, you can rent one side of the duplex for Airbnb, one a minimum. The other side you can rent it for 30 days minimum. You can have a tenant there that serves as your co-host, and you can legally get a permit to run your Airbnb business. If you are outside of City of Orlando, you do have to be careful with the municipality because, trust me, you don't want to get in trouble. I've been there and it's not fun. So make sure you check that. And here is just some other photos of other stages, people that some of you may recognize, Veronica Figueroa, Gil Ramos. We've learned a lot from people in the industry. So one of the biggest takeaways that I will tell you is surround yourself with people that you want to be like and feel like. So there is a saying, like, there's a metaphor. If you get a shark and you put it in a fish tank, let's say 5 feet fish tank, that shark is only gonna grow to 5 feet. But if you take the same exact shark and you bring it to the ocean, that shark is gonna grow to 10 feet or even more. At the beginning, he wasn't in the right environment. So let's take a second to analyze and ask this to yourself. Am I in the right environment? Am I standing on a place where I feel celebrated or tolerated? Because it's very different, and that can define the key on whether you achieve your success, like we have back there in that wall. It doesn't come from what you do occasionally success. It comes from what you do consistently. So what is real estate, guys? From all of these that I've shared, basically just look at real estate as a vehicle. It can be the vehicle to achieving the next goal. Don't look at it as just buying a house or helping a client buy a house. It can have different many sources. There is property management, there is mortgage broker, there is development, there is different many outlets under the umbrella of real estate. And the best thing about real estate, as Rob knows, is an asset, not a liability, right? So every time you buy a property, you're getting an asset. When you get a Lambo, it looks cool, right? But that Lambo is going to depreciate compared to the house that actually continues appreciating the value. So technically, the house that you buy, it becomes like your bank. And after you have that house, you can continuously refinance. You marry the house. What is that saying, Andres? You know this better? You marry the house, date the rate. Marry the house, date the rate. So you basically get into the house, marry the land of the house, and then continue dating with changing the loan, basically, according to how the market fluctuates. Because the market is always going to change. But guess what? The house is not going to disappear. It's always going to be there giving you cash flow. I mentioned the importance of having a good team. So these are just some of the key people that you need. General contractor, for sure, very important. An electrician, a plumber, an AC technician, a roofer, a drywall, interior designing, carpenter, painter, handyman, architect, and everybody that you need. So if you guys need help, let me know finding the right people. And lastly, but not less important, guys, focus on building your legacy. Money can't buy happiness. It cannot. So focus on your purpose. Focus on the legacy that you want to leave behind. How do you want to see your family? How do you want to see your kids? How do you want to see the kids of your kids and the kids of your kids? What is the impact that you want to create in this planet Earth? Remember, we all come here with a gift, and that gift is meant to be a spread on the people around us and among us. So, remember to take action, and I will leave you with these 3 things. I will encourage you to take only one Or if you are an overachiever like many of us here, you can take all three of them. But it's very important that you don't go to conferences and seminars just for the fact of going to them, but instead take one actionable step that you can implement starting today and take action in that. Because there's a book, Atomic Habits. One habit done over time, it compounds like a domino effect. And that one change that you can make today can literally be the change of your entire life. So number one, decide one habit you will change. Number two, identify one new relationship that you want to nurture. It can either be found here in this room or through a connection of somebody you met in this room. And number three, take the first step towards your goals. Remember, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, by Eleanor Roosevelt. And whether you think you can or you cannot, you're both right. It depends on the perspective on where you decide to look from. Which glasses do you want to use today? Thank you, guys. This is Kelly Gomez, and it was a pleasure to have you here. Feel free to take a photo of this QR code, and you can save my contact information. And if you want to explore further on how I can help you find either your next investment or maximize your portfolio, grow your portfolio, I will be happy to help you guys.
Thank you, Kelly.
Very good, thanks.